Well, good evening, everyone. It's LaRonda Scott with eXp Realty, but this is another Thriving Together Thursday. I can't thank you enough for joining me this evening. And even if you're watching the replay, thank you for spending time with me. Because, each week I'm bringing another topic because my goal is just to bring value to your life. I want to see people thrive both personally and professionally. And this week I'm excited because I have my cousin joining me, and she picks at me all the time because I never call her by her first name. I have always, even all through the years, called her Cheryl Griffin. She's always been Cheryl Griffin to me. So, hey, Cheryl Griffin.
Hey, Rhonda. You're right, Cheryl Griffin.
It has been like anyway. If anyone else comes up to you, hey Cheryl, this Cheryl, it has always been Cheryl Griffin, and I can't tell you why, but it has a ring to me. So it is what it is.
I wouldn't know how to answer if you didn't call me Cheryl Griffin.
You probably think something was wrong with me.
I would.
And I love your glasses. You
Thank
always wear the
you.
flyers glasses.
Thank you. Thank you.
I told someone, I was telling you even earlier, since I've gotten to the point where I have to do the progressive lenses, I was like, well, shoot, if I've got to wear little readers, my glass is going to be cute. So now I have an addiction to Zulu. Somebody's got to take that app off my phone.
Yeah, that's me. I just go to all of them.
I don't tell me.
Because I don't like nothing at the optometrist's office. So I'm like, I got to find me some glasses because I cannot see.
But even if you find them, the price that we've been paying at some of the other sites and everything, you can never get that at the doctor's office, sadly, but you can't.
That's true. So,
but
true.
I am okay with it.
And me too. Me too. Me too.
Well, thank you again for being on the show with me. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Cheryl Griffin, and I'm glad to be here tonight. I am an educator for over 26 years. I've had elementary experience, middle school, high school. So I've recently became a first-time author. So I'm excited about that. I am the mother of two children, Xavier and Alexis Griffin. I have three grandchildren, and I recently just got a new one, a little girl. So, yes, I'm excited to be here and looking forward to doing this. And I'm loving working with a lot of single moms with raising teenagers. So, if anybody knows me, children, that's my passion. Teaching is my passion. I actually retired in 2022, set out for 4 months, went to South Carolina. Now I'm back with CMS because I can't let it go. That's just my passion. I just love what I do. Yes.
Well, that says a lot. You retired. And it's like, I can't not be with youth. That's just something, and something about it. It makes you thrive. It gives you energy, and everything to be with them. So that makes sense.
Yes, I love being with them. Yes, I do. And I just love watching them excel and just really just listening to them talk and just want to be, there to give them that extra boost to move forward to be successful in life.
See, you gotta have it, and I imagine that you are one of their favorites because when you truly see a student in class, and you're meeting all of their needs, not just about the academics, then you become their hero.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's funny sometimes they forget where they are. Even the big high school students, they'd be like, "Hey, auntie." No. And yes, I got a few. They like, "Hey, mom." Like, yeah, I'm your mom. I'm your auntie. I'm all of that while you at school. And even if I see you on the weekend, if I can do anything to help you, I'm always gonna be that, that extra hand. If I can help support, that's what I want to do because I love to see young people thrive and excel in whatever their aspirations and dreams are.
That has to feel so good. I mean, have you had, I guess, with you doing all the elementary, middle, and high school, it's got to feel crazy to see them growing up and doing things. What's it been like to see them achieve and get older and come back to you about
Yeah,
life?
that's very rewarding. Actually, I saw my first class when TJ graduated last summer in June.
Really?
So
Uh-huh.
many of them were coming up to me. They were like, Miss G, Miss Griffin, do you remember me? Some of them already have children of their own, but when they
Mhm.
talk to me and tell me what they're doing, it just really makes me feel good. And one of my students, believe it or not, she said, "You remember you taught me how to read?" Because actually, that
Uh-huh.
person came to me. That's when I taught fourth grade. They really could not read, and I said, "Well,
Really?
yes. When you come into these doors, let me tell you something. It's I don't accept can't. It's always I can. So for me,
Mhm.
there's always a solution to a problem." And she laughed. She said, "You would always help me. Stay after school. We read. We're gonna do whatever we needed to do." And believe it or not, she passed her EOG.
Oh, congratulations.
Her EOG. And it was so funny. She was screaming so loud, jumping up and down. I said, "Woo, we about to have church up in this classroom." She was so happy. And to
Oh
this day,
man.
that was one of my amazing highlights. And I always remember that. So yeah, she's doing very well. I've had some students, they are in entrepreneurship, doing
Mm.
excellent. Very proud of them, doing some great things. So when I see them and I see what they're doing, that just puts a smile on my face. It's not
Mhm.
about me, but it's all about what I can do to serve to help them to
Yeah.
become a better person. So, I love that. I just really love that.
Well,
Yeah.
what's beautiful is you are allowing yourself to be used to be such a big part in their life because if they're calling you auntie and mom, then that you've gone beyond being a teacher. You've gained such respect with them, and that's huge.
Yes, I have, and I like that. But again, when they come into my classroom, my first motto is, I believe that students deserve respect, and I also believe
Mhm.
that adults deserve respect. So I want you to
Yeah.
come in and have a great day, laugh, enjoy the lessons, what's being taught, relax. I always tell them it's an open door policy. Ask questions. You know,
Mhm.
don't worry about what you don't know because if you don't ask, you're never going to know, you know.
Right.
So I want you to feel comfortable when you enter through the doors. They know we laugh, we talk, but they know when I mean business, strict, we gotta have boundaries so we
Yeah.
can get that success rolling. But yeah, all in all, yes. Whatever I can do, I'm willing to do it.
I will tell you, I am in awe of teachers because it is not an easy job. It's sometimes it's a thankless job, but it is not easy. And it's been the moments where I've tried to do homework or I've volunteered, and I'm like, whoo, I just don't know. So, what would you say has been your most rewarding grade level? Would it be or you enjoyed the most if you can choose one between elementary, middle, and high?
I would have to say probably high school, now that
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing high school, because that's one of the most crucial times in any teen's life, trying to
Mhm.
decide who they are, discovering themselves. What do you want to do after school? So we really have some um, hard conversations. What do you really want to do? And I always tell students, it's not always going to college that will make you successful because college is not for everyone. So
Mhm.
whatever your skills, your traits are, whatever your niche is, find that.
Mhm.
Have a lot of students that are in cosmetology, and I laugh all the time. And I tease them. I said, "Well, then let me let you know, teachers don't make money. We educate everybody else, but we got one of the lowest salaries. If you do it, you gotta love it." But they laugh about that. But I that's very rewarding for me because I do find that high school students they are really trying to find out who they are. Um,
Mhm.
and they ask a lot of questions and they do need a lot of guidance you know Middle school, I've enjoyed middle school. sixth graders are babies. Of course, they think they're grown when they leave in elementary. They think they're grown, but
Me too.
that's a great time also because they have to get acclimated into coming into from elementary school. Sometimes having one teacher, depending on where your school is, you may change classes in fifth grade, but sixth grade is a major transition for middle
Mhm.
schoolers. So I found that to be rewarding too. And of course, when they get to eighth grade and they come back and see you and you've taught them in sixth grade, you see how they've grown, how they've matured. And it's so amazing, how to see how they really shift gears and they understand now my academics is a major, major important. If I
Right.
want to do extracurricular activities, participate in sports, I got to have my GPA up. My
Mhm.
my freshmen, they understand it starts in ninth grade. You can't wait till you get to your junior and senior year and worrying about your GPA. So
Right.
even if you're not going to college, you still have to have that GPA up in order to graduate.
Mhm.
So that has been some very rewarding things, just watching the trajectory from when they first arrive on the first day of school to the end of the school year, just looking at their maturity level, how they start to feel comfortable and build their confidence within themselves to feel like, hey, I'm great. I'm doing well now. Now I'm ready for the next phase. So that's
Mhm.
really rewarding to see with students.
So then you decided this year you have gone from, well, it's probably not this year because I'm sure it was a process, gone from educator to now adding author to your name. What inspired you to write your first book?
So what inspired me to write the first book is after I retired and I started subbing. So I went around to several different schools, um, was very inspiring. It gave me different environments to teach in. And so
Mm-hmm.
I saw the need to write this book because definitely after having taught so many years and having parent teacher conferences, I don't know how it always ends up. Parents always feel comfortable once they start talking to me. There have been many times I pass a tissue box, the tears are just rolling, and they start telling me things that they've experienced through their childhood that they don't, really want their child to experience it. But after
Mm-hmm.
looking at what we are dealing with now in this generation and how parents are really trying to really understand teenagers, that brought
Mm-hmm.
me to a sense. Let's write the cries of parent and the love I need as a teen. Because so many parents are crying. What do I do? Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is a different generation, a different shift in what we're dealing with. So that led me to write this book. And then I see so many teens, they really want to be nurtured. They
Mm-hmm.
want to be guided. They want that love. They want that support. So that's how I wrote that book. Yes.
I tell you, one of the things when we had kids, I remember I got tickled at at Hassan, my husband, for those that don't know, and we went for our first appointment before Caleb was even born, and he was like, "So, how long after he's born does the manual come out and tell us what we're doing?" Because I was like, we don't have a clue, and we not too long ago just sitting around having conversations with them, we told them like, you were kind of like our pilot project because we didn't know what was going on, we didn't know what to do, we kind of figured things out with Caden, but ooh, it was a work in progress.
Oh yeah, with that first one, right? I remember that
Yes.
first one. Yeah, because that first one, I was living in Atlanta when I had Xavier. So yeah, no
Hmm.
family, no nothing. So I had to try to figure that thing out by myself. And so yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge, but we made it through there. But um, with the children in today, it has changed because we all know social media really has a great, I don't know, it's really an impact on our students,
Yeah.
um, on kids. so many times students and teens, they feel like, well, I gotta mimic what I see on IG because they say
Mhm.
Facebook is for old people. So
Yeah.
these kids like, TikTok, IG, they love that. So
Yeah.
that's really taken over everything. It can be a major distraction. It can
Mhm.
present um it could present many things that teenagers have to deal with, and then parents are trying to monitor it, if you really are very impactful in your child's life. So with that being said, we've tried to put policies in place to make kids put their cell phones collecting once they first come into the classroom, monitor so that they can stay focused. But sometimes that doesn't happen at all times.
Mhm.
So kids are what I do see. Social media is really, really taking over, and parents are getting a little bit aggravated about that.
Yeah.
What's really going on, because you don't if you really don't know sometimes what your child is following. You can
Mhm.
be the best parent and still
Yeah.
be involved and still have these deep conversations with your children, but you will not know everything. So
Mhm.
that's major. I've seen that happen too. Major concern.
I guess it's kind of a challenge for you in the classroom too, because I mean, they don't use textbooks like we used to. Everything, you're using devices. So then it's like I got to keep you focused because you're bringing in a laptop, you have your phone, and you're actually using it for work. But then still, that also gives you access to things that are not school related.
Right. Well, actually, we have a program what is called Dino. So
Okay.
Dino gives us the opportunity to block if they're on anything that they don't need to be on. We can watch the screens, but every child is tech savvy, right?
Yeah,
So
they are.
they know how to go out of that screen where you actually can't see what's
Mm,
going on. But if you have to be out on that floor monitoring
yeah,
what's going on. But yes, you can do that as well.
they are some savvy little somethings. I remember Kaden, she had, was it a Kindle or was it her iPad? But anyway, she wasn't allowed to have Snapchat and other things like that. So Kaden, I'm talking about you if you see this. Um, and all of a sudden, I find out she didn't have a Snapchat account on the devices we were monitoring. She was
Mhm.
going to her friend's house, and she had accounts that she would log in from their devices, so we couldn't find out. So those were again. I would tell my mom sometimes you cheated because you didn't have all this stuff when when we were growing up. It's
Yeah.
just it's a different world.
Oh, it's a different world. It is definitely a different world. And believe it or not, you have to learn something new every day
Mhm.
because these kids are really tech savvy. And I'll be honest, sometimes they have to teach me. I don't know it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so true.
Well, with you being mom and having spent time with kids in the school system as an educator, and then like you said, seeing the differences now that social media has bring, what are some major differences that you're seeing, and what would you say to parents now?
Well, to parents, what I would say is the key to anything is communication.
Hmm.
I realize me being a single divorced mom raising two kids, I know so many parents are having to juggle so many hats, right? You're working, you're trying to attend your child's games, you're trying to
Hmm.
monitor power school, you're trying to do homework, you're trying to provide. So I actually could say from the time that I raised my children up to this time, the number one thing that I see has taken over is technology. It wasn't that prevalent when my kids came,
Hmm.
right? But we're also seeing a shift. I think, and I have to be real with the respect. from young people now. The
Yeah.
respect is talent. It's a little off now. And
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, it used to be the old school was it takes a village to raise a kid,
Raise a child.
raise
Mm-hmm.
everybody. So,
Yeah.
and when you guys came through, when we came through, it didn't matter. Everybody was one community. If you stepped out of line, it was nothing. Hey, if you're there, whoever that adult is, they're
Deal
gonna
with
take
it.
care of it. They're gonna deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean abuse, but that means putting you back in check to handle your
Yep.
business and be still respectful. So that's the number one thing that I do see that we now in this generation and the younger parents, we really do need to get a grip on this respect.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'll say this. You don't never know what your children are going to do when they're not away from you, right? No,
Right.
you don't never know. Don't ever say what they won't do. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't say that. But a lot of times it does start at home. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
have those boundaries, and basically the shift in trying to open up, get that communication, get that dialogue flowing. And I think what happens now, people don't know really how to relate to their teenagers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's almost like I want to be their friend, but again, let them evolve in who they're meant to be. Give them that
Mm-hmm.
space to find out who they are, but yet, as a parent, you still need to be there guiding. You have to have your eyes open to watch,
Right.
because it's just so many different things. Um, Beyond social media, that's coming into play now, that
Mm-hmm.
really needs open conversations, and I know sometimes teenagers, when you start asking too many questions, they want to shut you out. They want to push you out. Like, okay, mom, nobody does that now. You're the only mom that does that. My friends'
Yeah.
mom don't do that. That's what we get.
Oh yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I still always say this, it doesn't matter. You still have to strategically set boundaries in your household,
Yep.
communicate that, and say, hey, listen, it's not that I'm not trying to run your life. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get involved, be involved. Let's have the open line of communication. What
Mm-hmm.
you need from me? How can I help you? But yet you still let them evolve into who they are meant to be, but yet you still be the parent. You still have to be the parent.
That's a balance right there because it's like you said, you don't want them to make any mistakes,
Mm,
but but again, you learn from allowing them that opportunity to make those mistakes. You guide to make sure. I used to say, I don't want you to make a mistake you can't bounce back from, but at
mm.
the same time, you have to allow them to figure things out and evolve into who they are. That's a challenge. Like you said, a delicate balance right there.
Definitely, definitely. And then there's a part in my book that I share some of my imperfections as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we can think that we have it together. I can,
Mm-hmm.
for myself, I can say after going through a divorce, having a girl and a boy,
Mm-hmm.
and a part in my book is like Xavier said, well, I thought it was a script that I was supposed to be following. Like, you tell me what to do, uh, you know, X, Y, Z. So it sounded
Yeah.
like a script. But he said I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but it got to a point where like, God, is this what I'm gonna let me be who I am? Can I just be who I
Yeah.
want to be? So he said sometimes I just did it. Now on the other
Mm-hmm.
with Lexus, she said I didn't really give her as much rope. Do you understand? Like
Mm-hmm.
you were saying,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want them to make the same mistake where you can't bounce back. So I'm juggling
Right.
as a divorced mom, trying to go to school because at that time I'm in grad school. I'm juggling
Mm-hmm.
being mom. I'm juggling being, and sometimes I felt like I'm brother, sister, I was dad, I was all of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So with her, she's saying like I was really strict on her, hard
Mm-hmm.
on her. like a girl. I
Mhm.
didn't have those conversations. I had life conversations now
Right.
about how to become how you should guide yourself as a young lady, how to evolve into society, those type of things. But exactly being able to let her evolve and be the young lady that she had in her mind that she wanted to be during her teenage
Mhm.
years, she didn't feel that. I did that.
Yeah.
So those were some of the imperfections that I found out as they became grown children. And of course, with
Mhm.
Lexus being a therapist, that opened up my eyes as well as to be honest and authentic in my book to say, we as parents sometimes feel like you can't listen or talk with your child. Yes, you can, because you know what? Sometimes you can learn from your children.
Yeah.
Um,
That's true.
you can learn, but it doesn't mean that they're running the household. You're still the parent,
Mhm.
yet they feel comfortable enough. Regardless, if I made a mistake, I can still come on in and say that. Now, that's the part I
Mhm.
did have with my kids. I mean, I didn't have perfect children, but I did open up the door to say, listen, hey, if you're wrong, this is what I used to tell them. If you're wrong, I need you to tell me before I get to school, before I talk to the administrator,
Yeah.
before I talk to the teacher. Don't have me looking crazy. Well, don't you have me looking crazy, because
For real.
I'm gonna be your number one supporter, but tell me the truth. And
Mhm.
it gets to a point, if you're involved, I know when my kids are lying. I know when I was raised. I know when you cut a little corner. I just sit
Yeah.
there like, but I know, and they used to
They
laugh.
knew then when you sat like that, it's like she is not believing a word I'm saying right now.
Right, exactly. So that's a part, in my book that I do share very authentically.
Mhm.
Where I brought in my children, about my children, and we all
Right.
sat down and had that that deep conversation of the
Mhm.
imperfections of parenting. So
Wow.
and I say that to all parents, just try to be involved, try to be present, because your teenagers, they want to feel like they belong. If they don't
Mhm.
feel like they belong, are they a part of the household, part of the family? Guess what they do? They're gonna try to go somewhere else and find that love that they're looking for.
That say that's real right there. So if they're not feeling it at home, they're not getting it at home, they're gonna look for it somewhere else, and there's no telling who they're gonna find that from.
And most of the time, when they find it from the outside, it's bad.
It's
It's
not
not what
good.
you want to deal with. So that's
Oh, because if they find it, they don't really at first, they don't even know what they found out there is bad because they don't have anything, I guess, to compare it to.
yeah, absolutely right. So it's
Wow.
basically they're running on their own, trying to find
Mhm.
their way, trying to find what they are missing. And I see that a lot of times now in school. Um,
Mhm.
if you just sit and observe teenagers, they come in, they look so despondent, they look so sad, they look drained. Not all, sometimes, and
Mhm.
you never know, like you're saying, they don't know what they're running into out there into the world, into, because the streets now, they're very bad. And when
Mhm.
you turn on that news, it breaks my heart too when I see teenage girls running away from home. But it started
Wow.
somewhere. So it's a sense of not feeling that you belong at home.
Mhm.
Is there's a missing piece to the puzzle there that they're not getting. So they're looking for it somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, one, thank you for bringing this piece, and I've been popping the title up here and there so people can see it.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for bringing this piece so that parents can learn, because it's not only about, oh, this what you need to do, this what you need to do, but you're speaking to parents also, parents as a being and needs as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that was vulnerable for you to sit down with Zay and Lexus and like, okay, let's talk about me as a parent, and then to put that out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, that makes your book even more so powerful, to where I'm being transparent and
Mhm.
saying this is where I fell short. This is how I learn, and be able to provide those seeds to parents in your book.
Right. And Rhonda, I found out people now, life is life. Life is really life. And, in every area, it used to be a time people would say, oh, teens, all I have to do is just send you to school. You don't have anything to worry about. Yes, everybody has something to worry about on this
Mm-hmm.
journey called life. And what I found out in writing this book, people want to hear an authentic story. They
Yeah,
want to hear real, something that is relatable. I
yeah,
can tell um when I see single moms trying to raise teenagers on their own, or children, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes
mm-hmm.
out, because at some point they need some self-care. They
Yeah,
need some self-awareness. And how do you find that time? Because you can't
mm-hmm.
pour an empty cup. If I can't be the best parent, I'll be the best version of me. How am I going to be the best person for you
Right.
and listen and be there to support your needs? So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing I do tell parents in that book. In my book, I say, make sure that you try to find some time for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know stress levels can get at a high rate, and then not to mention what possibly you are dealing with your team. So
Yeah.
I say, take some deep breaths, try to rationalize. Let's look at the situation before we just explode like a bomb.
Yeah.
Because at that point you're gonna lose them. They don't want to hear nothing. You
Mm-mm.
have to say it's this like war. It's a war
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I found that out, that people really want to hear. They want something that they can relate to, and
Mm-hmm.
and once they can relate, they feel like they're not alone. I
Yeah.
mean, I sympathize with that. There are days like I felt like, whew, I can't take
Mm-hmm.
another thing. But by God's grace, I can remember days leaving Lexus volleyball game,
Mm-hmm.
Shelby Middle, running to Shelby High, going to see I call him Big B. Big B play basketball, and
Yeah.
then not to mention I was in grad school. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
so when parents start, and then my dad got sick.
Mm-hmm.
So with all that coming, I hear parents all the time when they come to parent teacher conferences, like I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But there's a way to get through it, but it's a way that we've got to find that fine tune. What are we actually dealing with our kids? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Having that, I say communication is the key to everything. Ask them, how is your day? So many kids now, because the prices are high, people are trying to provide for their children. So many kids get home to an empty house. Mom,
Yeah.
dad's not there. So,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's there to say, how was your day?
Yeah.
So that's the time we've got to try to strategize, put that on our calendars as parents, to say, hey, let me check in. Let's take
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes. Let me see how you're doing.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Is there anything that you need? Is there anything that you need to tell me? Is there what how's your day? What's really going on? So, and I think that opens the door um for building that parent teen bond, and breaking some generational curses, because that gender gap, we want to break that. Just because you may have gone through that in your childhood doesn't mean that you and your child have to go through the same thing you know
Yeah.
and a lot of times, as you said earlier, we want better for our children, but we can say that, but we still have to put it into practice.
Right.
Find that niche, find what's working in this generation. Sometimes you may
Mm-hmm.
have to set that boundary. Let's put that cell phone down. There's a part in my book that is an Odyssey journal. um, I believe in doing some interactive activities, pulling in things that will help build those relationships. One of my favorite things I love to tell parents, and I share that with them, setting SMART goals. Make something that's attainable. It doesn't have to be anything big, but something
Mm-hmm.
that you and your child both need to work on. So it's not looking like I'm pointing a finger at you. You need to do this, but we both need to come together. What can we work
Right.
on? Set maybe 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
write a short sentence on it. That's
Yeah.
what we're working on. And we're going to check in on every Wednesday. Let's see where we are.
You
So,
know what? I really see this growing into, and you've seen it. The first thing that came to my mind was like chicken soup for the this and the that. It's like you have this book now for teens, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, now you got to help a sister with these adults because now going into parent and adult, what in the world is that all about?
right.
But
So
yeah, I can see you having a part two.
oh yeah, I've had many people to ask me about when's part two coming. Part two's coming. It's coming. Yes, yeah, it's a part two coming for parents. Yeah, like you say, helping parents
Yeah.
out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
Well,
think parents will find some very interesting things in the cries
mhm,
of parent and the love I need as a team. That's going to
yeah.
help both parent and team strengthen that bond, and that bond is what we need. Definitely
Hmm.
got to build that bond between parents and their children.
I highly encourage folks to grab a copy of The Cry as a Parent and The Love I Need as a Teen. Again, this is by author and my cousin, Cheryl Griffin. And I say that because, like we've been talking about, the book is real. It has an authentic voice. And these are things that she's bringing to you as a mom, as an educator. So I encourage you to go and grab this book. You want to tell them where they can find you?
Sure. The book is available on Amazon. You can
Hmm.
also go to my website at www.cherylgriffin.net. You can also go there and purchase a copy. You can also read some more pertinent information about supported bridges, and also my email address is available as well. If you need any assistance with your teens or any questions about the book, you may contact me through my website, and my email is available there as well.
And can you see that? Did I get the website correct?
You did. Yes, you
Okay,
did.
perfect.
Yes.
So it is available on Amazon. This is her website. She's making herself available to talk with you, answer any questions that you have. And again, the book is available on Amazon. So get a copy of this book because, unlike a lot of things that are out there that's just like high level and talking at you, she is meeting you where you are, and this is a conversation, and again, an authentic voice. So, anything you would want to leave with folks before we call it an end?
I would just like to say again, thank you, cuz, for having me. I really enjoyed it. But to any parent, I just always say, don't you give up. You are the matter that matters. And everything that you're doing now, even though your teenagers may be giving you that hard rebuttal, that pushback, but I promise you, if you stay the course, the tears may be rolling down your face. But I always say this: you bow down on your knees, pray. Prayer changes things, and keep parenting. And I promise you, you will see the rewards at the end. So I'm always here. Reach out to me, but always know that you're a great parent, regardless of what. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Just stay the course.
Amen and amen. Thank you, Cheryl Griffin. I appreciate. Look, I did it again. I was going to try to. I was trying to practice, but thank you so much.
You're welcome. You are welcome. I wouldn't know it any other way if you didn't say Cheryl Griffin. That's all I know.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, and everyone, I look forward to seeing you next Thursday as we're coming as I'm coming back with you with another topic for thriving together. And as always, when it comes to real estate solutions, if you're looking for someone to help you make some smart real estate moves, please feel free to reach out to me and give me a call. I'm not just about buying and selling houses, I'm about helping you thrive in all things. So, thank you so much for being with us this evening. I'll see you next week.
Bye.